Do you know that employment projection by the Bureau of Labor Statistics from 2022 to 2032 shows that the RN workforce is going to be expanding by 6% at the end of 2032. This expansion will increase the number of actively working US RNs from 3.1 million to 3.3 million, with job openings of about 193,000 annually. If you are a nurse in any part of the world and you wish that someday you will work as a registered nurse in the USA, then this video is for you. My name is Nurse Eudora. I'm an internationally trained nurse, but I'm working currently in the USA as a bedside nurse. On this channel, I share real-life tips and step-by-step process to help internationally trained RNs like myself or healthcare workers who intend to migrate and work in the USA to make their process more informed. Before I proceed, I would like to put a disclaimer out there. I am not an immigration expert. I am not an attorney. Whatever information I share on this channel are based on personal experiences and research. Today, I'll be talking about the step-by-step process of becoming a US RN. Before you can pursue becoming a US RN, you must be a registered nurse in your home country with at least 1 year nursing experience or 1 year postgraduate experience. With that being said, let us dive into the video. I'll categorize the steps of becoming a US RN in about 5 subheadings, which include credential assessment, examinations, licensing, immigration or visa pathways, and job offers. First step is to get your credentials assessed or evaluated. The CGFNS is one of the regulatory bodies that assesses credentials for internationally trained RNs who intend to work in the US. So first things first, you have to create an account with CGFNS and register to have your credentials evaluated. Once you are done with that, you proceed to request for a professional transcript from your nursing institution. Next step will be to request a license verification from your home country's nursing council. After that, you proceed to do the criminal background check with fingerprint cards, and then you register with your desired board of nursing. Before you proceed to register with any board of nursing in the USA, you have to research the requirements for registration for an internationally trained nurse. This enables you to ensure that you meet those requirements even before you proceed with that registration. What this does is it saves you time, because if you don't meet with their requirements, they may ask you to get those things done, and that takes time. So make sure you research the requirement for each board of nursing before you proceed to register. I mentioned the board of nursing as the last part in the credential evaluation or credential assessment because the board of nursing need to review reports from the CGFNS and your criminal background check results before they can clear you for the NCLEX exam. The next point is examinations. There are 3 main exams you need to write within the process of becoming a US RN. The first one is the jurisprudence exam. The jurisprudence exam gives you information about the state-specific laws in nursing. It ensures that you know the standard of care that is expected of you as a registered nurse in that state. It also ensures you're exposed to your responsibilities and scope of practice as a nurse in the state so that you are not crossing boundaries by practicing outside your scope. The next exam is your NCLEX exam, of course. you have to be cleared from the board of nursing before you can proceed with that. So usually the board of nursing, if they have successfully reviewed all your credentials and it's equivalent to the standard of nursing practice in the USA, they go ahead and issue you an authorization to test, also known as ATT. Once you get that authorization to test, you go ahead and register or book for your NCLEX exam via Pearson View and sit for your exam. The next examination that needs to be written is the English proficiency examination. Now, there are various English tests that are acceptable for immigration for nurses in the USA. So there is IELTS, there is TOEFL, there is OET, there is Pearson PET, and there is MET. I would suggest that you check which one has test centers available and you work with any one of your choice. Licensing. Once you write and pass the NCLEX exam, within 24 to 48 hours, you are usually able to view your result. After which you would receive a license from the board of nursing which you registered with. So let's say within a week or two, you should receive your result and your license, provided you pass the NCLEX exam. The next point is the immigration or visa pathways for nurses. So there are two main visa pathways for nurses who intend to migrate to the USA and work as registered nurses. One is the employment-based visa category 3, also known as EB3 visa. It is a primary visa type for most nurses coming into work in the US. It guarantees permanent residency or green card for the nurses who migrate to the US through this visa kind. The requirement for the EB3 visas are a job offer from a US employer, your NCLEX-RN certificate, and your visa screen certificate. The next one is H1B visa. H1B visa is a visa category that allows expat or specialty workers to migrate to the US. Now, to qualify for the H1B visa, this RN must have a bachelor's degree or higher. They must have least practice for 2 to 3 years, and they must have written their NCLEX and have their NCLEX-RN certificate. Most people tilt towards the EB3 visa category or the EB3 visa route because it guarantees permanent residency as soon as you get into the country, though the timeline is longer. But the H1B visa has a shorter timeline of arrival from when the process was started. But the H1B visa does not guarantee permanent residence. Your employer has to file an I-140 petition for you when you arrive or whenever they deem fit before your visa expires. They file an I-140 petition for you, which allows you to proceed to upgrading your visa to the EB3 visa, which now ensures that or guarantees you get a green card. The last topic I'll be talking about is job offers or job opportunities for US RNs. So whether you sponsored yourself or not through the NCLEX, you have two options for securing a job. One is getting a job through a staffing agency or a direct hire. Now, working with a staffing agency is like having a middleman between you and whichever hospital you end up working for. The staffing agencies, they will do the negotiation. They will be the ones in direct communication with the hospital and all you just have to do is to show up for the interview. If you choose to pursue the direct hire, usually you are in contact with the hospital themselves. There's no middleman, it's you and the hospital. So they do basically the same thing, but the slight difference is that for direct hires, your job, you're sure, is a permanent job, unlike with staffing agencies that you are just contracted for a certain period of time. But with the direct hire, it's a permanent position. The salary for direct hire is usually a little higher than agency or agency nurses, and you have benefit for agency nurses. They may have benefits, but it's limited. That is all for this video. Share your thoughts or questions in the comment section, and I will do well to attend to them timely. Bye. See you in the next video.